we get along.
We lived in the fast lane, and I drank too much, I smoked too much, I did too much, I made too much, and I suffered. And now I am back to try to help other people.
So I've always been a high energy individual and involved from the moment I get up to the moment I go to bed, and pure energy.
I was sitting at the table, enjoying a cup of coffee, looking at the Pacific after breakfast. And the woman across from me was a retired nurse, started screaming, "Call 911," over and over and over. And she scared me. I didn't have any clue what she was talking about. In my stroke, I had no sense of pain or. All I remember is I was so relaxed. I said, "No, just let me go to bed."
It was about 6 o'clock in the evening, and I was on my way home from a restaurant, and I felt kind of bad, so I went to bed. And she was with her, Becky was with her daughter having dinner, and she came home and saw me and noticed that I was stuttering and doing odd things, and which I was, and she took me down to the hospital. And then I was in the hospital for about 5 months.
I'm shaving, getting ready to enjoy a beautiful day at the beach, and all of a sudden, this right arm is numb. And I knew something was happening. I quickly ran into the kitchen and I mentioned to Denise, I said, "I think I'm having a stroke. I think I'm having a stroke." And then I immediately went back to my bedroom and I lay down on the bed. And then the most bizarre thing happened. I noticed I couldn't speak. And I was speaking in gibberish.
So as I walked through the house, I started flipping on the lights and calling his name, and I heard him back in the bedroom. And I went back there. He was slurring his words, and he just said he didn't feel good. And as soon as he started talking to me, I knew that he was in trouble.
I'm all alone. This is the hard part. It was the divorce and a house, but all alone. And I don't know. It's 30 minutes, an hour, or something. I don't know.
One of the sides was paralyzed, and I tried to get out of the car because I was going to have Mrs. Green drive the car to Good Sam, and I couldn't get out of the car because the body was inoperable.
They gave up and everything was black, and I just was left on the gurney, and they covered me up with a sheet. And I guess somebody saw a movement or something in the morning, because in the morning he arrived and so did I.
The whole left side of my body sagged. My arm flopped off my knee, and I guess my lip drooped, as did my cheek and my eye. Everything just, like it just got washed down.
But I just knew the slurring wasn't normal and that we needed to get help right away.
My whole right side was paralyzed, and said to Joe, "This is Green." I said, "Joe, I am having a stroke. Call 911.
I didn't have any outward symptoms because I usually take good care of myself. I used to do half marathons. I don't have high blood pressure or cholesterol. So how could this happen,
I mean, no one seemed to know what was happening. The ambulance driver said, "Do you know what's happened to you?" And I said, no clue. And he said, "Well, you've just had a stroke." And I said, "Oh."
I didn't really know that much about stroke, just I've met some people who have become stroke victims.
That's for old people, not young people. And that was a wake-up call. So it's a long road, but I'm doing it anyway.
Neither Ed or I had a lot of knowledge about strokes prior to him having the stroke. It seems like there's a lot more awareness now.
I was in 4 hospitals for approximately, I'd say 4 or 5 months for testing, and each one had their own particular specialty, and they couldn't figure out what I was and why I was alive.
I was at one hospital for about a week, then they sent me to another hospital where I spent about 5 months. It was that whole routine, you know, that they do to make me well.
My first concerns when Cindy had her stroke was, okay, what do we do now? Because I was still employed as an engineer, and was wondering how is this going to affect my life. So at the same time, you know, I had to concern myself, well, about Cindy's status and her recovery. You know, I was bound and determined that I was going to do everything I could to help her recover. I mean, I wasn't going to let her just sit around and watch TV all day.